Welcome to the Modern Sports Show, home of your college athlete, where we are player-led and player-focused. Today, on this edition of the Modern Sports Show, we will be going over some film. Okay, been about a calendar year since I've taken the time out and put together some. Well, I didn't put it together, but I scrubbed it from the internet. And let's just talk ball, man. As we near the college football season, it's time, okay? It's time to, I never particularly leave. Anytime I watch the game, I'm always thinking X's and O's. But the average watcher, right? We want to equip you, get you ready for this upcoming season, okay? And so let's start with the basics. We're going to start with some basics. And I think gradually as the season rolls along, I'm going to come with these episodes to kind of educate the average fan on what some things that they can, or what things that they can learn. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Things that you all can learn to, so that way when the season rolls around, you're like, what is Lane Kiffin doing right here in this 4th and 3rd, this 4th and 5 situation on the plus side of the ball and the red area, what's going on? All that good stuff. So what I did was I pulled from I'm going to be pulling some material from my playbook from my tenure with the Kentucky Wildcats. So, just showing you this today specifically, we're going to be looking at, or we're going to be cueing. I'm not going to say because I don't have a cut up where all we're doing is looking at a 3-4 defense, but with this 2021 Iron Bowl, certainly there are some I'm getting tongue-tied, I'm sorry, there are some 3-4 defensive situations, and we'll try to identify those fronts. But these are some like I said, pulled this from my book, my playbook, 2023 playbook. KYP. This is something Coach Brad White. He is now with the Florida Gators under Summerall, a defensive coordinator. At the time, he was with Kentucky, and Coach White used to tell us all the time, KYP, know your personnel, okay? It's important to know your personnel, know who you're playing with when you're on the field. So, very valuable. In this 3-4 defense, okay, you're going to have 3 defensive linemen, all right? 3 linemen and 4 linebackers. So, this 3, that is the linemen. This is the linebackers. And you'll see this when we talk about offensive personnel as well. 3, 4, and those linebackers are jack. The jack normally plays to the boundary along with the wheel. Jack and wheel normally travel. They stay together. And then Mike and the Sam play to the field, at least in our system. That's what we did. And the Sam, when you think of Sam, think strong side. A lot of times the Sam and the strong safety will play to the same area of the field as well. And Mike, you can think of it like Mike is the middle. He's the man. Will, weak. I don't have anything for Jack. But just, Jack and Will travel. Mike and Sam travel. All right, now, this is important to note with the DBs. So in the 3-4 defense, right, because there can only be 11 players on the field at a time, right, you got 7 people in the box. So 3 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers. You got 4 DBs. That makes 11. 7 plus 4 is 11. So that only gives you room for 4 defensive backs, right? Now, that's our base defense, okay? Now, our nickel look, we used to call this medium, or we used to have a medium look, and what that was essentially was our Sam. We looked for somebody who wasn't quite a DB but was right in between, so a medium. So we called it medium. This was the first system I was in where we did that, but nothing really changes except for you got 3 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers and 5 DBs, which in most systems they're going to call it a nickel, which we also have a nickel down here, as you can see. But in this defense, we would call this a 3-3-5. And in our nickel look, we would call it a 2-4-5. Okay? Or excuse me, yeah, 2-4-5, 4-2-5. But that's a nickel look. So in our medium look, with it being a 3-3-5, a lot of times I'm thinking fire zones. So where we're rushing 5, dropping 6 with 3 deep thirds. I'm getting kind of advanced. I'm sorry. 3 deep thirds and 3 underneath defenders. So like 2 skiffs and a mid hook. I would, expect that a lot in this medium package. And then in our nickel, right, it's just a true nickel. Like I said, 2 corners, 2 safeties, 1 nickel, keeping all our backers and 2 defensive linemen. And those Jack Sams are attached to the line of scrimmage. So a lot of terminology. Okay, let's get out of this. Something else that I wanted to talk about too. I thought I had it pulled up. Sorry, let me pull it up. Hopefully there's no sensitive information in here. All right, another thing I wanted to talk about was defensive alignment and gap descriptions, because with this, it's very important with how you line up pre-snap. It'll tell you what's kind of going on or what the defense is trying to accomplish, how the defense is responding to the offense. And so the best way to teach this is anytime you see a 0, think center, right? This is the center of the offense. And everything, the alignment, this front alignment is lining up based on this is the center, this is a guard, this is a tackle, this is an end. Center, guard, tackle, end, okay? So that is pretty simple. These never change. So in film, you'll hear me say, oh, he's in a 0 technique or he's in a 1 technique. Right here, he's in a 2I. Right here, he's in a 4, he's in a 5. This is what you should be envisioning, okay, as we talk through this. And a lot of it is just memorization, okay? Some of this stuff stays the same, but then at certain points in football, it grows and it becomes a lot more complex, okay? So an example, guard, a 3 is outside shade. A 3 will always be an outside shade on a guard, no matter. Football can be 1,000 years old. A 3 technique is going to be outside shade on the guard. A 2, head on guard. 2I, inside guard. All right. Now, the easy thing with linebackers is essentially all you're doing is, adding a 0 with your alignment, and we're calling it the same thing. So if you're behind a 2 technique, you're in a 20 as a linebacker. If you're behind a 3 technique, you're in a 30. If you're behind a 4I, you're in a 40I, so forth and so on, okay? This is a very important chart to remember. This especially matters when it comes to run fits. We'll get into that stuff later as we build on. But if you need to, take a screenshot of this right now, learn, right? So that way you kind of know, because a lot of things that happen on the back end are predetermined by what's going on in the box. So very important to know this stuff. We're just building the foundation right now. So without further ado, we are going to get into some film, okay? We're going to get into some film. And that film is going to be the 2021 Iron Bowl like we talked about. Now, a lot of times I'm kind of like, I will take too long going through this stuff. So, probably not going to go through the whole thing. Just going to digest enough. And then we'll call it a day. But like I said, we're going to put some of the stuff we just learned into real time and go from there, okay? Got my handy dandy iPad and my pencil, so we are going to learn.
Because if you haven't heard, Ohio State lost today, so Alabama has a possibility to move up to number 2 in the college football rankings. Hunter, got hit hard as he hit the 20-yard line and keeps on going. Got it out to the 25. That's where the Tigers will go to work.
It was amazing just to hear Auburn student section, or like Auburn student section is kind of connected to the recruiting area, at least at that time it was. So it was like, I'm a villain. I'm very villainous. I love to hear the air, just the breath sucked out of a stadium from an away team, right? Like, I love that. I love it. It's nothing more that I love than that. I think I would rather, the scenario goes, I would rather be the away team, come in, a home team, big crowd, and take a dub than being the home team winning at home, against our biggest rival. That's just me. But, all right, so right here, right here. Now, football is tricky. So we're going to talk about offense too, but just in terms of defense, football can be tricky because especially nowadays, you got guys like, this is Will Anderson, all right, and he is what many would consider an edge. And in the old days of football, it was either a defensive end or it was a linebacker, outside linebacker. I don't even think the term outside linebacker even exists anymore because majority of the time it's just going to be what they say, an edge. So, but that's that. So let's do some identification. So we got this edge. We're just going to call him an outside backer since he's standing up. You got 1, 2, 3 offensive line or defensive linemen. So we got 3 defensive linemen. Okay. We got 3 linebackers because we said we're going to name him one. I believe this is Christian Harris and what's his name? Mike Henry Oto T. Alright, so we're in a 3-3-5 right here because we know we got 3 here and then we got 3 here. So that's going to give us 3 plus 3. Again, guys, football is just simple math. Simple math a lot of times. And we know that there has to be 11 on the field. That gives us 5 DBs. Little Johnny got 5 apples. Alright. Simple. Very simple. Okay. And like we just spoke about, now I don't know what, Saban was calling this defense at the time. As you can see from my Kentucky playbook, we had a medium, we had a nickel. But just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to call this a nickel defense. Okay. 5 DBs. 5 DBs equal to 5 cents. And 5 cents is equal to a nickel. Simple stuff. All right, now let's go to the offense side of the ball. Now, I'm going to kind of breeze through this because at some point I'll talk about it, but, not today. Now, I'll say that I've watched this film a lot, and so I'm kind of familiar with what Auburn was doing. They were doing a lot of quad strong, like to the field, quad strong to the boundary, which is 4 eligibles on either side of whatever divider I'm saying. And they were really, Bo Nix was hurt this game. I think he went down with an injury. And so I don't think Auburn, I think Mike Bobo was the offensive coordinator at the time. I don't think he was very confident. I don't think he was very confident in how Auburn matched up man for man with Alabama at this time. And so they played a lot of keep away. They were very creative, ran a lot of rocket motion, a lot of jet motion, a lot of fly motion. And they really just tried to keep this Alabama defense off balance. And they were taking whatever they could get. So you're going to see a lot of that. And let's just...
Because if you haven't heard, Ohio State lost today, so Alabama has a possibility to move up to number 2 in the college football rankings. Hunter, got hit hard as he hit the 20-yard line and keeps on going. Got it out to the 25. That's where the Tigers will go to work.
All right, so as you can see, fly motion from this boundary. Now, personnel-wise, they got one running back, one tight end. So that's 11 personnel. A back, tight end is going to give you your personnel. We talked about this in the past on this show, but our setup is a little bit better right now, so we ain't got to be in no rush. Like I said, rocket motion coming or fly motion coming from the boundary. And simple, right? Simple inside zone handoff. Everybody's zoning down for the most part. Let's look at our run fits. And guys, let me tell you this. This is boring. Okay? Watching film, it's only so much, you can do to try to make this engaging. It's bringing me back to my playing days, right? When we're in the film room, whether it be position meetings, unit meetings, team meetings, whatever, it's boring. It's boring. Quite frankly, there were a couple times in team meetings, especially you be done practice, you be done worked out, you be done went to class, and now it's time to have meetings. It's the end of the day, or it could be in the middle of the day, or whatever. A lot of times I used to struggle to stay awake, if I'm being honest. Being very honest, I used to struggle to stay awake because it's boring. It's repetitive every day. Same thing. But that's where the greats separate themselves. And I wish I would have known now what I know about the game of football that I did. I'm doing all this talking. Let me go. Simple inside zone. Not much.
And nowhere to go for Bigsby against the Alabama defense.
Very simple. All right, let's run through it. So like I said, a lot of trickery right now. This is 10 personnel, no tight ends. Back right there, no tight ends on either side. Open formation. Right here, you kind of see 3 down linemen, 3 linebacker look. They're crowding the line of scrimmage. Don't really know who's coming, who's going. And they know at the time, this is a quarterback name, Finley, TJ Finley. No, he's young. I think he had just transferred over from LSU, if I'm not mistaken. And so, young, just want to play with him, right? We're going to play with him, show him different looks. And you can see here, this is, what's his name? Hill. I want to say Hill. Make me want to say Hill. He's going to drop, and how many are they bringing? Just bringing four. So they gave him a simulated pressure look. Simulated pressure means we're going to show 5. Show 5, only bring 4. We're going to simulate pressure. We're going to simulate it.
Finley's first throw. Maybe. Nope. Will Anderson there.
But
for Bigsby against the Alabama defense.
Will Anderson, he's going to do what we call a long stick. So this is where he starts right here. And then I just want you to watch where he finishes the block. He's going to wrap. You see him coming around here. Get right there in the backfield. These guys, and again, like I said, it's boring. I know it's boring, but you can only dress it up so much. A lot of times people see, a lot of the casual fan, they see the long touchdown. They see the, they see the big hit. They see the sack. They see the interception. They see the fumble. They see all of these things, and they get excited, right? Like, oh, my God, we just got the ball. But they don't see the things that happen in between the play, in between the whistle, that creates these monumental plays. And so a big, long stick, and football is a very situational game. I want to add, it's 3rd and 8. All right. They got the ball on the 14-yard line. All right. And, you know, this is the first possession of the game. So think about how this is going to affect or continue to affect the timing and the rhythm and the decision making ultimately of the offensive coordinator with what Alabama's DC is doing. And so
Finley's first throw.
Good job. He just kind of sneaks in.
Throw, maybe. Nope. Will Anderson there. Close to a safety. Another sack for number 31.
Wheel him inside. Starts outside and then comes right over the center. Auburn probably practiced it 50 times this week. It's a backdoor tight outside linebacker coming around.
His back foot just about on the back line.
What that does, right? Again, we're learning. What that does, they have the ball at the 3-yard line. It looks like here. Auburn pins super deep in their own territory. A punter, even your best punter, right? He might get the ball out to the 30, 40, you know, like your best punt, some of your best punters. And so with that being said, like what you're doing to Alabama's defense, you're playing what they call complementary football. Alabama's defense does a great job at getting their offense in great field position to come out and score.
Slade Bolden's camping under it with a fair catch call and taken around the 48-yard line.
I mean, think about that. If you're Alabama's offense, you start with.
So already Alabama's in a short field. Auburn is second in the SEC.
Plus territory, meaning on the plus side of the 50, right? If you're going that way, all right, we're going this way. And on the minus side of the 50, if you're still going the same way, but we're pinned up in our own territory, okay? So.
See in tackles for loss.
I know, a lot of jargon, but you'll get there, though, because we're going to learn together. You're going to hear it so much from me that you're going to start to say it, too. You're going to be like, yeah, damn, they plus territory right here, you know what I mean? I know what to do, this, that, and the third, so. Cool. Alright, I gotta find a better way to do this. Alright, right there. Oh. Okay. Alright, so Alabama's gonna come out, just pre-snap real quick. They're also in the 10 personnel. Got their running back, Brian Robinson right here. Got 3 open to the field. And single receiver side, I want to say this is J-Mo. He's going to be having a pretty good game before he gets ejected for targeting.
And tackles for loss. No gain on that one. 3rd down and long. Young's got to get rid of it. Threw it into some traffic.
Now, a bulk of my film, how I watch film, is from the defensive side of the ball because I'm not much of an offensive guy. I understand certain passing concepts. I understand, like gap scheme versus zone scheme, blocking. I understand pretty basics, but I'm still learning, you know. Like, I'm not like a super guru. I'm not going to ever claim to be that on this channel. I know what I know, and I'm going to teach you what I know. Okay.
Call and taken around the 48-yard line. So already Alabama's in a short field. Auburn is
football. So, all right, so let's look at this Auburn defense. All right, so we got 2 guys with their hand in the dirt. All right. Now, what I do know is we have, I think his name is Derek Williams right here. And this edge rusher, I cannot think of his name, okay? So these guys play more that edge kind of position, all right? So I'm not going to call them linebackers. We're going to call them defensive linemen. Very seldom did they drop back into coverage to cover, okay? And then we got Chandler Woodson, I believe, and I think Asante Samuel or Devontae Samuel, something like that. I can't think of his name either. So we're in this 4-2-5 defense. Boom, here, and here. And I also want to add my guy, I cannot think of his name. Can't think of his name. I think, is it Moultrie? Either way, had a phenomenal game. John Mechie did score on him to win the game, but that doesn't negate, he kept Auburn in the position this game to win. So
his second in the SEC in tackles for loss. No gain on that one. Third.
5 is a delayed blitz. Watch Chandler Woodson right here, number 31. He's
the SEC and
called that a delayed blitz. Wasn't really showing until the ball was
tackles for loss. No gain on that one. Third down and long. Young's got to get rid of it. Threw it into some traffic. Incomplete intended.
Affecting the timing. Right, Bryce Young, he can feel the heat drawing on him.
Intended for Williams. So 3 and out. Alabama. Javarius Johnson waits on the other end for Auburn.
I don't think they showed the rest of their drive. They ended up punting.
And tackles for loss. No gain on that one. Third down and long. Young's got to get rid of it. Threw it into some traffic. Incomplete intended for Williams. So 3 and out. Alabama. Javarius Johnson waits on the other end for Auburn. Lets it go. And it's going to be down around the 2 by Jamison Williams. Didn't get an opportunity to catch that pass because he was held. Well, he held on to that one inside the 2. Third down and 2.
All right, so 4-2-5. At this point, we're just going to start going through it. Now, they got this tilt motion going.
Lets it go. And it's going to be down around the 2 by Jamison Williams. Didn't get an opportunity to catch that pass because he was held. Well, he held on to that one inside the 2. Third down and 2.
Arc motion to get right back to.
He'll get it again, and he's not going to get it. Swarmed under To'o Anderson and company, and Tim Smith in the middle.
All right, so this was. Let's just look at the personnel real quick. It's a different look. So center here. All right, center here, and then we got a tight end here. Off the ball, tight end here, or a wing, whatever you want to call him. This guy, that is. And then we got our back here, half back, running back, whatever you want to call it. And so with that being said, we are in a 12 personnel. That's the first time we've given us this look, right? On offense, okay. On offense, you can have 6 eligibles. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. All right, 6 eligibles.
On 2nd and 5.
What we call this is a split zone.
Number 31, I think that's
a split zone. I'm sorry, guys. I got to get back to it.
One inside the 2. Third down and 2. He'll get it.
Because that wing is going to call it the split zone, because this wing is literally going to split the formation, come back across. So it's not just a regular inside zone. It's a zone nonetheless. Everybody is zone blocking down, down, down. They're zoning down. But we got this tight end or this wing back, whatever you want to call them, like I said, coming across and kicking whatever outside defender that this is coming to squeeze down. And the whole point of this zone is he's trying to find a crease or a cutback, okay?
On 2nd and 5, it's Bigsby trying to get to the edge. Forget about it. Brian Branch drops him for a loss.
A lot, and he's getting there in the bounce out. That's what this defense does when they're playing well. They bounce it out to those safeties.
All right, so now we're in an empty formation. We'll call that an empty, or if we're using numbers, be empty or a double, 0 formation. No backs, no tight ends.
Various John.
There's another receiver down here. We just can't see him to give us our 6 eligible.
Johnson was the motion man. He sets up on the right. Finley goes that way and got it to him.
Wow. It was these are
good for a first down.
Auburn made to keep them in the game.
That's not as deep as it normally is, year in and year out. This throw, wow, I don't know how he tucked it between those two guys, but he got it to Shedrick Jackson.
You know who dropped in there? Will Anderson, number 31. I think that surprised the throw. There he is. Instead of rushing the quarterback, he's back there in coverage. Did he get it or not?
Yeah, he got it. For a second there, one of the officials was saying,
Yeah,
oh, good. To Oto, thinking about a blitz for Alabama. He backs out of it. Finley scans the field, rockets one down the middle, but it's incomplete. Slade Bolden shades his eyes back there as a high wobbly kick. He stares into that sun and makes the catch right about at the 15-yard line. They start at the 15.
Okay, let's see. A few more plays. It's crazy how fast the time can sneak up on me. Been going for 30 minutes already, man.
That's Slade Bolden. And
all right, so let's talk about that. All right, so if we look, let's look at his alignment. He's in a press man right now. He's in the off man. Okay, he's safety. Typically, a lot of later developing routes come when you're this number 2 in the slot. You know, could be goals, could be posts, could be corners. Right? You got so much field to work with that they want to give you, you know, they want to design these routes to kind of give, you know, the receiver a couple moves to make to go into another route or whatever you want to call it. But we know we're in the off man right here. And we know that we're in the man because he is going, as he goes, as Slade Bolden right here goes into this motion. Sorry. As he goes into this motion, this DB, what is he going to do?
15. That's Slade Bolden in motion.
And it's funny because he, you know, he's not chasing. He's not chasing. I think this is, this might be Smoke Monday. He's not chasing though. So that tells me, just small nuances of the game, that tells me that he's been watching film, right? He probably seen this motion and this same formation, knows he's coming back, so he knows I can slow play it. I can be patient. And what he does is, does a good job, too, staying on top of this angle for whatever might come, you know. It looks like Slade is kind of bubbling out down here, and so, you know, Bryce could go quick here. Shoot, he would only have one person to beat if he wanted to. But if you just look at where he is in relation to Slade, he's mirroring him, if not a step or probably half a step ahead of him getting to that angle. So that's a good job of that DB. Good job by that. Yeah, you see that? Look how that comes together. Look how that comes together there. You know, so small things like that, guys. Very small things like that. Nuances of the game.
Young pressured again.
And how he thrown that ball. Look at how he. Look how he thrown that ball, man. How he was ready to. Look
at the 15. That's Slade Bolden in motion.
Look how he
Young pressured again. Down he goes. Back at the 6-yard line.
Right over him. That's where they got him. You get pressure, he gets inside, and then he eventually runs right in there.
Bryce Young is 0 for 3 to start the game. He's in his own end zone. Now fires late and got it. Jamison Williams, and just like that, a big play out to the 41-yard line.
Almost more dangerous when he comes out of the pocket.
By the way,
You flush him, he moves up. That just allows those receivers to get their depth and pressure those
I
safeties.
feel like they did a good job. And at the time, Derek Mason was the defensive coordinator. I think he did a great job at mixing in different styles and flavors of DBs. You know, you might have a guy 6'1", 200 pounds, okay, that could play a strong safety, but also you could squeeze him down inside in the box, and he could, you know, help with run support. He could play more like an edge at times, you know, just mixing it up. You had, you know, a Smoke Monday, probably 6'2", 6'3", maybe 180, 190 pounds, able to do different things, more like a post safety. You had Jalen Simpson, I want to say, he could play safety and corner. So Auburn around this time, for what they did have, I think they utilized it well on their defense.
He is, and he won't.
Now this is where the game is won. Let's just look at this hit.
Fires late and got it. Jamison Williams, and just like that, a big play out to the 41-yard line.
And this is something that I could have done a better job.
It's more dangerous when he comes out of the pocket. You flush him, he moves up. That just allows those receivers to get their depth and pressure those safeties.
How to tackle. So for my young guys especially, I want to cue 9 right here. For the life of me, I can't think of his name. But I want you to see, I want just pay close attention at how he puts his feet in the ground and explodes through his knees, gets good flexion in his ankles, and like a ram, right? He's going to meet Brian Robinson right here in this B or C gap, maybe even an A. Yeah, he's going to meet him in that A gap. Look at that. And look at his body positioning. This is a 3rd and 1 on the 49-yard line. Okay? 3rd and 1 on the 49. And look at this. This is a hell of a play. This is a hell of a play. This I can say confidently. It's this kind of playmaking ability that I was missing as a player. All right, when I was playing. Look at his body position. Look at that. Now watch how he's about to meet B-Rob in this A-gap.
He is, and he won't get it.
See how he punches? He punches, right? And that does enough to stop his momentum. He actually probably hits him.
Robinson goes down a lot.
The rest of the Auburn defense does a good job at getting to the ball like they should and gang tackling. So that way, you know, they're able to get a
loss of a yard.
For a 3rd down stop.
Beat those blocks. Get it.
Gonna show it again in slow motion.
Get inside.
Look at that.
Side.
Look at that.
Get in there.
Ugh. Look at his body positioning at the time of contact. He is like, that's beautiful football, man. It's beautiful football. Got his head to the side, you know, used a bulk of his shoulder, squared the ball runner up. That's good football, man.
In there, you don't really have to make the tackle. You just got to make a pile for that.
Burnip had a really nice punt last time.
So, like, yeah, you know, you can be as pretty as you want to be. You could be, we can draw up all the X's and O's. You could be as fast as you want to be. You could be whatever. But at the end of the day, that's what this game is about, right? It's a battle. It's a test of wills.
That was down at the 2-yard line. Unless he gets all of this, he won't get it that far. And it's an end-over-end.
Actually, that was a TFL. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw, but it's 4th and 2. And, yeah, man.
Punt. Fair catch called for and taken around the 12 by Javarius Johnson.
I could do this all day, man. I might turn this off and go and watch another game, you know, and be thinking of ways for the next episode.
From the 12-yard line, little end around, and down. Javarius Johnson.
All right, so we're in 11 personnel set. Jarquez Hunter at the back right here. And again, Auburn just trying to, keep Alabama off balance, man. Trying to keep them off balance. But I really feel like Will Anderson sniffed this thing out early just because of what his pre-snap alignment changed to.
The 12-yard.
He's going to find a crease, and he's going to beat, we call that offsetting that tackle pretty much. We know that the tackle is trying to wrap us. Tackle is trying to wrap. But we call that playing inside out. And so we know, right, and that's instinctive, right? I think it takes a very good player to do this because otherwise, if this play here goes outside of you, then you're losing contain. In the film room, coach is looking at you like, what the hell, man? What are you doing? Right? So it takes a very instinctive player, and it has to work, okay? Because if not, we're losing leverage. So he's going to play inside out that. He's kind of like almost patterning with this tackle's upfield shoulder, patterning with that shoulder. He sees through tackle. He's going to disengage, right? Block destruction. And at that point, that tackle has, no choice but to continue to work upward. But it's like, yeah, dog, this play is good as done. And it's going to affect
blend around.
And he's there. But let's go back. I think it's Mathis. Mathis probably made more of this play than anybody.
He gets all of this. He won't. And down. And it's an end-over-end punt. Fair catch called for and taken around the 12 by Javarius Johnson.
47, Mathis. All right. Let's cue here.
From the 12-yard line.
He just
line. Little end around. And down.
But, yet and still, I still like the way Will Anderson kind of played during the
goes Johnson.
Mathis just went unscathed, man. Like, that was a miscue by the offensive line. Okay, where we at? 42 minutes. Let's watch a few more.
Kobe Hudson in motion settles in on the left side as Finley goes. Oh, what a catch!
Good coverage.
That was not a strong suit.
Really good coverage. Perfect pass and a better catch because I'll tell you that play. Brian Branches all over it. You can't play any better. We talk about 50-50 ball.
Sean Shivers in the back.
Or one of those. It is the Iron Bowl. Just one of those plays that it gets made in the Iron Bowl. If it's any other play in any other game in the season, that's a drop. They coming back for the next down.
Backfield with Finley's a good pass receiver out of the backfield. Finley has to scramble around. He might run now. He will. He's not going to get the now. And he won't get it.
Too much decision making on behalf
He is.
TJ Finley.
Better. We talk about 50-50 ball.
Sean Shivers in the backfield with Finley's a good pass receiver out of the backfield.
And Alabama's only rushing 4.
Finley
only rushing 4. But I think it's his youth, because this pocket is still relatively clean, but he decides to exit outright like any young quarterback would. But that pocket, and that's just his pocket presence and his pocket awareness.
With Finley's a good pass receiver out of the backfield.
He's going to be able to, like at this point, you feel one blitzer. You feel one blitzer and you're getting off your spot and you just abandon. Like I said, I don't know much about the quarterback position. Or the offensive backfield in general, but I do know He's leaving the pocket way too soon. Way too soon. I should still be downfield. He should still be standing upright and maybe, backstepping or whatever you would call that. But just young.
Finley has to scramble around. He might run now. He will. He's not going to get the first down, though. He might be coming right here, too, on second down.
The way I watch film, it would take me 3 days to finish this. So we're going to stop right here. We might come back and do like a part 2 on this. But I hope you were able to learn something. I really enjoy doing this. And I hope that you can tell, because I do like to incorporate this kind of stuff in the channel, because that's what makes this podcast and this program. I'm sorry, my allergies are killing me. But that's what makes this podcast and this program so special, because not only are we really in the field with the guys that we bring on the show that play all over the country, from LA to New York. We're getting players on the show. But we'll come back in the studio and we're going to watch and we're going to understand the game, and we're going to understand what it is that they actually go through, what do they do, and what is needed in order for you to actually be at the top of the game playing at this level. And so it's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I just showed you guys very, very simple things today. I'm going to try to continue to build on it, because like I said, you can never know it all, and you can never stop learning in this game of football. And I think it really starts with a great foundation, and that's ultimately something that I did not get while I was playing. A lot of this stuff that I'm showing you guys, I didn't learn until after high school. And so I think it's important to educate yourself, because it affects the game that we love in a lot of different ways. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast or this broadcast this evening. Pop some fireworks this weekend, eat some barbecue, have fun and be safe. And guys, we will see you on the next episode of the Modest Sports Show, guys. You guys have a great evening and a good week.